Welcome to Emotions Monday, where we look at an emotional word of the day. We define that word according to the dictionary, we describe that word in daily living, and we decide, are we going to reduce or increase that emotion based on how that emotion can impact our lives. So our emotional word of the day is crushed. Now, that word is defined by the dictionary as feeling overwhelmed, disappointed, or embarrassed. It's when something or someone or circumstances, situations press against your life, your emotions, with such force that it can begin to destroy or deform the thing that it's pressing against. So to be crushed has to do emotionally with your expectations, desires, and hopes. And something comes along at that time and presses against it to distort your expectation, to crush your desire, to get rid of your hope. And so, what does it look like in daily living when someone is dealing with the emotion of being crushed? When someone says that they're crushed, it refers to something unexpected happening to them. This thing left them feeling down, disappointed. It made it difficult to get up or bounce back from the state that they were in. So I want you to think about it this way. If you ever see a box getting crushed, it loses its form. It stops looking like a box, and if you try to use that box again, it can't hold the same amount of weight it did before. A box that was crushed loses some of the capacity or ability to hold and protect the things that are put inside of it. That first crushing of the box did protect what was inside, but the second time it's crushed, it might not do that again. If you've ever had a package delivered to you and it came and it was crushed on one side or another, oftentimes when you open the package, if it's not something fragile or delicate, that thing is still protected because it had the packaging of the box and the way that it was taped and packaged. That box in its present form was able to protect the item that you had inside. But if that box had gone through several crushings, by the time you get your thing inside the box, right, this thing that you ordered and waited for and was excited to receive, most likely you're going to see the impact of that box being crushed on the item inside of it. And it's going to lead to disappointment. It's going to lead to frustration and maybe loss of hope of being able to use that thing that you waited for so long because it came to you and it was crushed. So you see, the first time that we're disappointed, we may feel like, okay, well, maybe I'm not sure if I can do this thing. But the second, third, fourth time we're being crushed in our hopes or our dreams or our ability to do something, it makes it harder each time. When our feelings are hurt or crushed, some of us bounce back easily. We can still love, care, and help others. Some of us take longer, and when we do try to love, to care, and help, it's different. It's not the same way that we did it before we were crushed, before we were hurt. Now we're more careful. We may hold back, not love the same. We might take a little longer to help others and not help as much anymore. Because when we go to help, we remember the time that we were crushed. We remember the time that we were hurt by something unexpectedly happening to us. So with that in mind, what do we do when we feel crushed? What do we do with this emotion of feeling pressed against, of feeling overwhelmed, of feeling like this thing that we had hoped for has now become a disappointment? Or if we feel embarrassed by the outcome, what do we do with that emotion? Well, we're going to decide. Today we're going to decide that this feeling of being crushed is not an emotion that we want to keep. It's not something we want to hold on to. Why? Because it gets in the way of loving and caring and helping other people. It may take time to let go of this crushing disappointment, of this crushing disloyalty that we see from a friend, or hurt or betrayal, of this thing that has caused us to feel pressed and overwhelmed. It will take some time to let go, but it's worth letting go so that we can get back to our original form, our original way of loving and caring and helping others. Allow yourself to love after a heartache, to care for others, and to rebuild trust in humankind. Help someone else bounce back when they feel crushed. So that's your emotional word of the day, feeling crushed. And we've decided that we want to let that one go. That's not an emotion that we want to increase. We want it to decrease. We want to get back to our original sense of hope and joy and love before something or someone came along to begin to squeeze it, deform it, crush it, or misuse it. And so therefore, we're going to let this one go. We're going to retrust, rebuild. We're going to reform. Until next time, thank you for joining me for this Emotions Monday to talk about the feeling of being crushed. I am Jessie Martinez, author, therapist, and coach, helping you to master your emotions.